All right, everybody. It is 4 o'clock on Monday afternoon, and we have rescheduled from Thursday when there were some technical difficulties. And I am Robin Klein of Klein and Company Travel Consulting. Glad to have you here today. And as always, I would love for you to subscribe to become a Klein and Company Insider. You can do that on my website. You see the address going across the bottom there, and you'll get a print edition delivered to your inbox every week. So without further ado, I want to introduce Sandy Salle of Hills of Africa. And you all know how much I love Africa, and Sandy is like, she knows it all. She was born in Africa, and she's going to tell us more about that. She founded Hills of Africa in 2002. Is that correct, Sandy?
Yes, it was actually
Yeah.
founded by my sister-in-law in 2000, but I joined in
In
2002.
2002.
Yeah.
Okay. So she knows everything there is to know about everything everywhere in Africa. And so today we are going to be focusing on Uganda, because you have just been there. But first, just tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do, and then we'll go on into Uganda.
Oh, sweet. Well, thanks so much for having me on the call today, and delighted. Mondays, it's always good to have something like this on a Monday because it keeps you going for the rest of the week. So thanks very much. Yeah, I'm Zimbabwean, born and raised. In fact, I just got back from Zimbabwe as well as Uganda, saying hello to my family that still lives in Zimbabwe. And I've been living here in the United States for 20 years. And yes, we've had Hills of Africa since 2000. I started in 2002, and now it's my baby, and I have the most amazing team working with me. And yes, we specialize in Africa. We only do Africa. We work with a lot of travel agents and travel advisors. And our mission is really to help people experience Africa in a conservative way, using conservation, working with the right people on the ground, so you get to meet the people and experience the amazing things you can do in Africa. So that's my mission: get as many people to Africa as possible and really make them come back just being wowed and, oh my gosh, that was the most incredible experience of my life.
Yeah, well, it's wonderful, and you're so wonderful to work with. And I might just take this opportunity to explain to people that are watching and listening that you said you do work with a lot of travel agents and advisors and so forth, and it's really a great collaboration, because when we as travel advisors know our clients and we bring them to you, and we can tell you about our clients and how they like to travel, and you have all the other pieces, then we can take all the pieces to the puzzle and put it together and work together, and our clients win, you win, the travel advisor wins, everybody's happy.
It's just a perfect formula. If we can all work together, and I think this applies to anything in life, if you can get people to work together for the common good of your client going to Africa, and all of us are on the same page from the very beginning, the properties, the airlines, everybody working together, I mean, just glorious, right? We wouldn't have any problems in the world. And I think that's what's the great about Africa travel, is that, my competitors, everyone, we're all friends. We all want to make Africa work. So I love it.
Stacy Sattelfeld says, "Hey, Sandy." So, and Maya too, and she said she's excited to hear about all this. So that's great. So we're already getting some people that are chiming in, which I love. And anybody that is listening in, please ask questions and let us know what you want to know as we're going along with this. I want to just say one more bit about what we were just talking about before we launch into this beautiful presentation. But one misconception that I find often is that people feel like working with a travel advisor is going to somehow cost them more. And no, it doesn't. And that's what I try to explain. I would say, no, actually, you're going to get the benefit of somebody like Sandy, somebody like me, rather than just sort of stabbing in the dark and getting on and going down rabbit hole after rabbit hole on the internet, and you might not have any idea who you would be signing up to work with, and the price is going to be the same. So that's, to me, that's like, okay, why wouldn't you? But that's me talking. So
I love that. I always use the Zillow analogy. You can go looking for a house. Oh my God, I'm so excited. I'm going to go onto Zillow and I'm going to find the perfect house. And look at those photographs. Oh my God, they're so amazing. You get to your house and you're like, jeepers creepers, the photographs are not the same. And
that is such a perfect analogy. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. That's perfect. I have a good friend who's a real estate agent. She does that all the time. So absolutely. Okay. Well, so what I'm going to do is, while we're having this conversation here, I am going to disappear, but I'll still be able to hear and pipe in and ask questions if I need, but you're a pro at this, so I probably won't need to. And then I'll let you carry on. So
I'm just going to share my screen.
Yep. Okay, there we go. Hang on one second. It should be coming up. There it is. All right. And put you down in the corner. Okay, we are good to go. Have at it.
Okay, great. So I just got back, and feel free to jump in, and I can't see questions. So, feel free to jump in. I really want this to be a collaboration between the two of us, Robin. So jump in. I can't actually see you, but
yeah,
I have a screen full of absolutely incredible photographs from Uganda. And as I said, I just got back. Just so everyone knows, the protocols are very strict going into Africa. You need a COVID to get into Uganda within 72 hours of arrival into Uganda. So yes, it might seem like a bit of a mission, but I took 20 people to Uganda with me, and every single one of them did it. So it's not that much of a mission.
But that's fabulous.
Yeah, and just the whole experience in Uganda, hand washing, hand sanitizing stations in the middle of nowhere. So they are very, very good. You have to wear your mask everywhere, and apart from when you're at your lodges, and we took over the lodge, so we didn't have to wear them at all whilst we were at the lodges, but everywhere else you have to wear them. So I'm going to run through this. I know we started off at hotel number 5, which is only 5 minutes, 10 minutes maximum from Entebbe Airport. So if you're getting in off one of those late flights, you don't have to get in the car and drive for an hour into Kampala. Hotel number 5 is literally 10 minutes away, and it is stunning. It's a boutique hotel. It's in the area where all the colonials used to live in the old days. So you can imagine these great big gardens and lovely homes, and this is it. And hotel number 5 put us up for 3 nights, some of us for 4 nights because of flight issues, but it's a stunning little boutique hotel and very close to lots of the activities that we did. So one of the activities that we did was we went to Mabamba Swamp. Now, we're talking about, we are probably some of the very first international travelers to arrive in Uganda, which opened on the 1st of October. So we were some of the very first ones to get in to do some of the activities in Uganda. Mabamba Swamp, which is a little half-hour, you go in one of these dugout canoes type things.
Wow.
Doesn't it look glorious?
Yeah, it does. It does. Now tell us on the previous screen though. So that is a bird that is unique to Africa. Tell us about him a bit.
This is a very endangered stork. It's the shoe-billed stork, and it is found in Uganda, and it is almost on the extinct list. So, it is such a treat to find them. I mean, they mate for life. They actually have 3 eggs. When the babies are born, the firstborn kills off the other 2. I mean, how bizarre, right? So the chances of if you had three, you would definitely be able to keep one at least. When you've only got one, that poor mama and papa have to work very hard to keep the baby alive. And it lives in the reeds, very much a swamp bird. So the community is involved, and Mabamba Swamp is actually a community land. So we had to get permission to go in there to find them. But what an amazing experience that day. Some people opted to do, this is Jen Cochran, one of my colleagues on the trip with me, and some of our colleagues did a bicycle tour. And so you just bike around Entebbe with your guides, going to markets, going to the clothing stores or fabric stores. We had a lot of people loved fabric.
Yeah.
So we did a lot of fabric stores. So that's a really cool experience. Oh, I thought I had another one. So on the way from Entebbe, we went to Murchison Falls, and on the way, we stopped at the Ziwa Rhino Sanctuary, and this is where they started. So Uganda, during the Idi Amin government, obviously, they were in trouble with Idi Amin, and the people weren't getting paid, and the army wasn't getting paid. So the army was given license to go into all the national parks and help themselves to whatever they wanted.
Oh, my goodness.
So, it really took a toll on conservation and animals in general. And of course, the rhino population was wiped out in Uganda. So this Ziwa Rhino Sanctuary is about 3.5 hours from Entebbe. And the new road from Entebbe through Kampala is phenomenal. You don't have to deal with that horrible traffic anymore. It's just so nice. So we went there, and it's just incredible. They started off with 2 rhinos. One came from San Diego Zoo, and actually 2 came from an area in Kenya, which you're going to, Salle Reserve, which is famous for its rhinos and restocking the whole of Africa with rhinos.
Oh my goodness. I can't imagine the transportation that's involved on getting a rhino from San Diego, but it had to have originated in Africa, or at least its family. It had to have originated there at some point.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
And they have 36 now, I believe. Stacey Salle
that's fabulous.
Tell me otherwise. I was going to say it's over 50, but I think it's 36. So it's just an amazing experience. So that was our first introduction to big time wildlife. Some people had not seen any wildlife, so I was so happy that this was one of the first experiences. And then we went from there, we had to be a little bit of a pioneer, because the Murchison River, the Nile River, has risen over 6 meters this year. So we were actually supposed to be staying at another lodge. It is completely underwater. So we were staying at Paris Safari Lodge. We had to take a big diversion in order to get to our property because the ferries weren't working. But then you wake up in the morning and guess what? There are giraffes outside. So
it's such a lovely way to wake up. I remember the very first morning that I was on a safari, literally walking outside of my tent, and there were 6 or 8 of them just peacefully standing there. It was just so surreal. It was wonderful.
Oh, it was gorgeous. We got to see lion. This was actually a trip. If you are in the Murchison Falls region, some people think, oh, I don't really want to go and do the Murchison Falls, but I highly recommend it. The waters are so high, as I said, that you can see in the very background the falls there. But you can't actually walk up to the falls because it is just too dangerous with the water levels being so high. So I know Stacey and Dave, Stacey's on the line, they actually walked to the top of the falls. We weren't allowed to do that this time. But, great birding, fantastic birding, and being out on the water, it just energizes you. So I highly recommend doing that. And then, so whilst we were in Murchison Falls, I'm just going to go back to a different picture. I didn't want to put too many pictures in here. But when we were in Murchison Falls, we saw leopard, we saw quite a few different prides of lion, and we saw baby cubs. We saw all sorts of, in one sighting alone, we saw over 50 giraffe. Just incredible.
Wow.
And Murchison Falls has actually become a conservation success story for giraffes. So the giraffes are doing so well in this area that they are now relocating giraffes, and they've got the Giraffe Conservation Company based in Murchison Falls. They're now relocating giraffes from Murchison Falls to other parks within Uganda. So huge success story.
That's great. And Stacy says that Murchison Falls was an amazing experience and highly recommended. So another thing to put on my list.
Yeah, no, definitely. I highly recommend it. Some people think, oh, I just want to go to Uganda for maybe the chimps, but definitely the gorillas. I reckon Murchison Falls is outstanding and rivals some of the other national parks in the whole of Africa.
Good to know.
Okay, so from there we took a charter flight to Indali Lodge, which is a gorgeous, gorgeous property in the Kibale Forest region. And it's right in the mountains. And this lake that you can actually see out here, it's actually a volcanic crater lake. So there's all sorts of lakes around. And the gentleman that owns this, Aubrey, he's actually English, and his grandpa owned it during the Idi Amin time, and he was actually forcibly kicked out of Uganda. And then his dad in 92 or 93 came back. Oh no, beg your pardon, it was before that. During the Idi Amin time, he managed to come back into Uganda, and his grandpa had hidden the papers behind a piece of furniture that proved that he owned the land. Yeah, so his dad went in illegally during the Idi Amin time, managed to get the papers, and then in 1992 went back to Africa. Went to the lodge, the staff was still there, just a beautiful, beautiful story. And decided to, have this as a lodge and have tourists come to Uganda and experience the chimps in the area. Sadly, he died a few years later. And the dining room was in one of these, and then, the kitchen is in another one. They're just little lodges like this. Anyway, Aubrey now owns it, and it is absolutely stunning. I've got a picture here of tea being served, and the swimming pool and the mountains in the background. It's just absolutely gorgeous. And so from here, we were able to do all sorts of experiences whilst we were at Indali Lodge. We actually went on a farm tour, and we got to see vanilla beans. Unfortunately, they're no longer stocking vanilla to England, and they had the market for various other places. But, Africa is Africa, and unfortunately that market has dried up. So they're onto different markets. They have bananas and coffee, and they've got all sorts of other plants there. And it is a huge, huge estate. But it was fascinating walking around the farm and even seeing the vanilla and the coffee beans, and just a special, special place. The food, for foodies, this place is absolutely phenomenal. Really, really good food. So highly recommend it.
Great.
Okay, so Indali Lodge is only 30 minutes drive from Kibale Forest, which is home to the chimpanzees.
Okay.
And chimpanzees live in communities. So the gorillas live in families, lions live in families, but chimps live in communities. So there are quite a few big boys. The boys mate with the females. It's hard to tell who's wife, but that doesn't really apply. So they live in one big community. So in our community that we went to go and see, In that part of the forest, there were actually 200 in that particular community that we went to go see. We obviously didn't see 200, and they move fast and they're all over the forest. So we got there at about 7:30 in the morning, and we started out chimpanzee trekking at about, I guess, 8 after signing protocols, and you have to stand in sanitizer so you're not taking any diseases into the forest. Of course, we had to use our hand sanitizer, our masks, you name it, just to look after the chimpanzees. They're so closely associated and related to us that if they get a disease, it is really bad news. So, we need to take precautions to look after the animals. This is their environment. We are visitors to their environment. So it's really important that we did that. I was very fortunate to have Bosco, who's famous in Kibale National Forest. Bosco is the head guide, and he guided me. So I felt like I got a PhD in chimpanzees after the experience. I mean, he was just absolutely phenomenal. So, I mean, the chimps move fast and they are funny. I wish I could show you videos and thousands and thousands and thousands of pictures. This is a parting gift. I absolutely loved Ndali Lodge. Couldn't get enough of the views and couldn't get enough of the experiences. I mean, can you imagine?
I can't imagine. No, I can't. I can't. I would be laying down flat in the road.
I mean, just the experiences of being with the people in Uganda. It is, we all say we're going for safari and we're going for the chimps and we're going for the gorillas. The people are just absolutely incredible. And if you can spend time with them and getting to know them and appreciating them, I mean, whether it's in Kenya or Zimbabwe or South Africa or Guatemala or Australia, meeting the people is all part of the experience. And I think it makes every journey more special. Okay, are you still there?
Yep, I'm here. Well, honestly, I was thinking, I'll just interrupt you for a second. I was just thinking when you were talking about that, about all the people I met when I was in Kenya last year. And really, I mean, it's so cliche, but it's true. Everybody says, oh, they go for the animals, but you go back for the people. And, I'm so looking forward to seeing those same people again. They're a special breed, people that live in Africa and from Africa, like yourself.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Well, you know what? You've picked up on the African. It's like Stacy on the line. You've picked up on the African, so you'll keep coming back. So, Africa stole a piece of your heart too.
Absolutely.
Okay, so from Kibale National Forest, we actually drove in our 3 Land Rovers and our 1 vehicle for all of our luggage. And we went to Queen Elizabeth National Park, which is where we stayed at Moya Lodge. And Moya Lodge is quite a big lodge. So I would definitely, if you're booking Moya Lodge, I would book the tents. You just can't get a better view in Queen Elizabeth National Park than Moya. The tents are slightly lower, so you get a good view of the river. But Queen Elizabeth National Park is home to elephants, big-time elephants, lions, leopards. It also has the Kazinga Channel. So we went on the boat down the Kazinga Channel, and I don't know if anybody has ever done on the line, perhaps some of you can say in the comments, if you've done the Victoria Falls, the Zambezi River sunset cruise. This is the same sort of thing, but I might have to tell you, my Zimbabwe friends, that I think the Kazinga Channel was better than the Zambezi River. Sorry about that.
Oh, now that is something we'll have to write down there.
Yeah.
Say what you said.
I might just have said something against my home country. But honestly, it was absolutely phenomenal. I mean, elephants, I wish I had a picture. I wish I could show you the video, but we had elephants chasing a buffalo, literally hooting at the
I think I saw that in,
Yeah.
because I'm friends on Facebook and in real life, of course, with many of the people that you went on the trip with, and we'll talk about that when we're done with the presentation. But I think I've seen a lot of video from the trip, and I think I did see that in
Absolutely. I
somebody's
mean,
video.
yeah, it was Tammy who took video, and it was
Hmm.
just incredible. But the birding, just stunning birds, really absolutely stunning birds.
Those are
Kingfishers galore. The malachites, which is my favorite kingfisher. I didn't actually manage to get a picture of it because it was flying around too fast. But it's beautiful, beautiful colors. The pied kingfisher, tons of birds, absolutely tons of birds. Crocodiles galore, hippos, just so
everything.
many experiences. So I
Yeah.
highly recommend that.
Stacy says she thinks that you did the Zambezi cruise in 2017.
No, I did it in 2019. Oh, she did it in 2017, maybe.
She says, I believe we did. So maybe she's
Oh, yeah,
referring to somebody that she was
Yeah.
with, not with you. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, and so one of the I haven't got any pictures here. I really didn't want to. I know it's 4:27 already, so I didn't want to take up.
No, we're fine. We're fine. No worries. We don't need to keep it to 30 minutes. We're good. We can keep going.
So
As
one
long
of
as you.
the experiences that we did as an add-on in Queen Elizabeth National Park is we got to go out with a researcher for a morning. So we went with the lion researcher in Queen Elizabeth National Park to go and find the lions. He monitors the lions, but he's also responsible for human conflict, human wildlife conflict.
Yeah.
And is very active with the community, and he has people who live in the community to try and stop the human wildlife conflict, because you can imagine these elephants, they go walking for a long periods of time, and they go into the community and they'll eat the corn and the vegetables and the mangoes and everything else. Well, they get killed. The same thing applies with lions. The lions go in, they see that there's a goat running around or a cow running around, and they will take advantage if they can. So the human wildlife conflict is a big, big problem across all of Africa. And so James, who is our researcher, actually took us out on the day and explained all about how he works with the communities to try and stop this, because lion numbers are going down in Queen Elizabeth National Park, and it's all due to conflict with the communities. So we got to see a male and female lioness. We got to see another big male lion. Apparently, there were some baby cubs in one of the tree areas. We couldn't actually get to see them. And then we got to see a leopard. So all in all, an absolutely fascinating day with James. And if you're in Queen Elizabeth National Park, a great way to support conservation, get to learn about conservation a little bit more, spend time with James, and actually get to see lions and leopard up close.
Sounds like a winner to me.
From there, look at this river up outside here. Can anyone see it?
That is full. That is a full river.
Full. I mean, how close is it to that lodge, Ishasha? This is also in Queen Elizabeth National Park, Ishasha Wilderness Camp. It's a little bit further north, and it is right on the river. And so we woke up that morning, and our guide Eric was like, I don't know if we should go this way or whether we should plan for plan B. And he came back about half an hour later and he said, we're going to go for it. We're going to go for plan A. We're going to just go. Well, it was a lot of muddy roads and a lot of, bumpy, we call it the massage.
Yeah.
The massage. Your bum gets massaged because of all the bumpy roads.
Mhm.
But we got to Shasha Wilderness Camp, and the highlight here, obviously, great accommodations. I absolutely love this property.
Oh, look at that. Yeah.
Painted camp, and I love the property. Are the famous tree climbing lions of
Right.
and oh well, I probably shouldn't tell you the story, but I'll tell you anyway, because we had 20 of us. And we'd had quite a long day driving to get to Shasha. We had lunch, and then we were allowed to go back for a little nap. And then we were going to go out for our game drive at about 3:30. And so kind of went to the area, and I heard that some people were staying behind and were going to take a little nap. So, as my duty as tour leader was to make sure that they got to go and see the lions later on. So I had to look after them when they were having a nap. I had to make sure that, they were okay. So I stayed behind, and everyone else went out on the game drive. And I told Eric, as soon as you find the lions, phone camp and tell me where they are, and we'll come and find them.
Yeah.
So I had the perfect game drive. I got in the game drive vehicle.
Went straight to the lions. That's all right. There's nothing wrong with that. You deserve it.
We found 6 in a tree. So absolutely incredible sighting. Just wonderful. And then, of course, what a way to end the day with sundowners, beautiful scenery for our sundowners at Shasha Wilderness Camp. Gorgeous property. And, just great. These were our game drive vehicles. You stood up, or the windows opened all the way. Here, most of us are standing up in the vehicle. Okay, from there, we actually took a drive to Bwindi, which is guerrilla territory. And we stayed at beautiful Bahoma Lodge, which is set up in the trees. Part of Bwindi impenetrable forest. So gorgeous here. Here's our group. And it is canvas rooms. This was my room. Set up in the trees. And that was my view from my patio.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
Stunning. Yeah. So I actually did 2 days of guerrilla trekking, and I highly recommend, if you're going all that way to see the gorillas, do 2 treks. It really is, the first day could be seeing a different, we actually saw 2 different families. And I recommend definitely doing 2 treks. The first family that we went to go and see, it probably took us 3 hours to find the gorillas. And a very, very steep slope. And it had been raining the previous day, and it was our guides actually had to cut their way through all of these vines to create a path all the way up the mountain. So you can imagine, very slippery for 3 hours, quite hard trekking, but this is what I saw when I arrived.
Rewarded with that, absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
And then the next day, we went guerrilla trekking. We went to go and see a different family of gorillas. This time they had 25 members in the gorilla family, the Rushigera family, that just had a brand new baby, and they've got 2-week-old baby. So the baby was 4 days old, and then they had 2-week-old baby as well. But that climb, very easy, probably took us an hour and a half, maximum 2 hours to get to the gorillas, and it was up a path.
Yeah.
So, 2 totally different experiences.
That's amazing. Oh, that picture is just incredible.
And, feel free to go and check out my profile on Facebook or Instagram. I've got tons and tons and tons of pictures. Absolutely fascinating. I did want to share with you, some of the we went to this place. He's a conservationist. Deo is his name. Deo. Deo, and he's one of my guide Eric's heroes, conservation heroes. And Deo he is a teacher, and he lives in the community, and the community that borders Queen Elizabeth National Park. So remember, we were talking about wildlife conflict, human-wildlife conflict.
Yes.
Deo actually invited us to come and see some of his projects, and I just thought this was pretty cool. His sanitation, everyone has to go and wash their hands.
Yep.
So on the left-hand side, where this black piece of paper is type thing, you'll see there's a little hole at the bottom. That's soap. So you put your foot on a pedal, and out pops the soap. So you're not actually touching anything. And then you walk across to where there's a bottle, and you again put your foot on a pedal, and the bottle turns and releases the water so that you can wash your hands.
Very, very original. That's awesome. That's great.
I know. And that is the kind of thing all over Uganda. Everything is touchless. So all of the hand sanitizers, you put your foot on a pedal and out pops hand sanitizing stuff. To wash your hands if you happen to go to the bathroom or something like that. Again, all touchless, all organized by pedal. You put your foot on a pedal. I should have put a picture in here. I did. Yay! I thought I had him. This is Deo and his elephant trench. So he was getting
it hasn't advanced here. I'm just still looking at the picture of you washing your hands. Oh, there he is. Okay, now we're good. The trench and him. Yes. Okay.
Okay. So I was telling you earlier about the elephant, the human-wildlife.
Exactly. Yeah.
Elephants were coming onto Deo's land and his community that he lived with. And they were taking mangoes and bananas and all the vegetables that they produced, corn, anything and everything. They were also getting the lions coming into the community. They were also getting the pigs coming in and foraging and taking some of their crops. So Deo thought, what are we going to do? So he built all sorts of things. I mean, one thing that he's done is he gets elephant dung and he puts red chili peppers in it and burns it. And the smell, stops a lot of the animals from coming because they don't like the smell of the chili peppers. The other thing he did was he created he would have these lookout towers where the kids would look out, and if they saw an elephant, they would call down to somebody who was in the community, and they would do a pulley system which would bang pots and pans.
Oh, interesting.
And it would be and so then it would alert the next community and the next community. So they would be aware that there was an elephant or some kind of animal in the area. Anyway, these trenches, Deo started with his community. It took them 6 years to build 2 kilometers of trench.
Wow.
It's 2 meters deep, 2 meters wide. So an elephant can't cross it, and pigs can't cross it, and various other animals, the lions can't cross it, etc. Anyway, Uganda Wildlife Authority saw or heard what Deo was doing, and they went on and did another 23 kilometers.
Oh wow! That's
so quite a lot of the surrounding communities that border Queen Elizabeth National Park are now having this Deo conservationist.
What a wonderful success story. Love that.
So that was my trip. I mean, so much more. I could spend 2 days telling you about it. It just went on. But I think one thing about Uganda is it really does bring people together. You are doing a lot of traveling, but you are seeing and experiencing so much. And the people of Uganda are absolutely phenomenal. There's so many different experiences to be had. I mean, you can see this lady here, Tessa, she's wearing a green kind of skirt type thing.
Mhm.
She bought a dress in every destination we went, and it was made by the local people. I mean, we went to so many fabric stores in the town of Bundi, where the gorillas do the trekking. We met up with a lady called Evelyn, who started Ride for a Woman. Zoldy Foster, one of my friends on the trip, she managed to get someone in Rye, New York, to spend $400 on face masks. And this friend, this friend has a boutique, very specialized shop in Rye, New York. And so they're going there. Another friend organized for a whole lot of things to be made. Fabrics made into something, and they have also been shipped to the United States. We were Evelyn literally started crying. We were the first people to actually buy anything from their stores, and this is all women that make these articles.
Yeah.
We were the first people to buy anything since March 19th, and just.
And the difference it makes in their lives is just huge. I mean, think of $400 and we think, oh my gosh, I can't, eat for a week on that, or I can't, whatever. I can't make my car payment. I can't, whatever it might be. And, $400 to them is, quite possibly the difference between life and death in some situations. So it's incredible to be able to support them that way too. I mean, that's fabulous.
Yeah, I mean, not only that, you're thinking about tourism in Uganda and the communities that are in Uganda. When you take a porter up, when you're doing the gorilla climb, you pay. The porter's not included in the trip cost, because you can either have one or you don't have to have one.
Right.
And the porters cost $20 minimum. But that porter literally dragged me up the mountain and helped me down. And at one point, I thought I was going to trip and fall, and he caught me and put his arms around me and caught me. But I paid $20 for him. I got another one the next day for $20. Basically, over those 2 gorilla climbs, my group paid for 26 porters. 26 people got $20, the first dollars they've earned since March 19th.
Yeah, that's just incredible.
People don't realize how tourism is so important to the world. Not only the people, but the gorillas and everybody. I mean,
the conservation is, I mean, we've all heard the reports, about how poaching has gone up exponentially over this time. And, it's one of those things, it's heartbreaking, but it's also, people are having to choose between, do I feed my family, or, it's a difficult and dire situation that I think a lot of people don't understand. And like you said, with that $20 over those 2 days, I mean, the difference, you've made in their lives is fabulous. And I saw some of the porters were women, which I saw in some of the pictures, which was fantastic, So I was looking at that and thought, wow, that's incredible. And I just, all of that, I'm so glad that you highlighted that, because it is just so incredibly important. And I know it's been hard on everybody everywhere around the world for all kinds of different reasons, but there's different kinds of suffering for sure. But
absolutely. But outstanding trip. So when are you going?
Yeah. Well, I am, before we go into that, because we'll talk about that for a second, but before we go into that, I do want to just sort of highlight. So the reason so this trip started, it was planned more than a year ago, before anybody even had ever heard the word COVID uttered. And so there were lots of ups and downs, and are we going, aren't we going, whatever. And then you went through all the gajillion flight changes and, everything else that had to be done, but everybody was with you. And this was what we call in the industry a fam trip, correct? Or
experience trip.
Experience. Okay. Experience trip. Thank you. Okay. So, meaning that a lot of the people that went on this trip were in the travel industry, and they were going to see places and experiences for themselves, so that, when they have clients that they're working with, they've been there, they've done that, they see what the experience is like, so they can really, explain it. But it's also a wonderful camaraderie situation for those people that work together in the same kind of industry, and to get to know you better. And going back to where we started this conversation today, with the collaboration and the relationships and the knowing, and so this kind of brought it all full circle, and I'm sure the circumstances, because nobody on this trip presumably had been on an airplane for a very, very long time, so everybody, I'm sure, was just delighted to get there and be together.
You know what? I mean, every time I do something like this, it just feeds my soul. And being with these travel advisors, I get teary, but they really made the trip for me. They went out there and they really were pioneers. I mean, some drives we took were like 3 to 4 hours longer than normal, because the roads had collapsed, because the ferries were not working. Some experiences we weren't able to do, like the Uganda chimpanzee. I'd organized for that. Unfortunately, the money that I took from everybody to do it, yes, they didn't get it back, but it's now helping Uganda, because we couldn't actually go to it because it was, couldn't get in. The ferries weren't working, and the docks were too much water. So these guys went in with an open mind and an open heart, and they were willing to change, because they knew that they were going to experience something amazing at the end of the day.
Right. Exactly. And that is a good segue into my trip coming up. So, yes, so I had a trip planned went to Kenya in January of 2020, and had an absolute fabulous time on a horseback safari. And at that point decided I was going to do it again with another group in January of 2021. And one by one, people dropped off. And then even my friend and his wife that own the safari company, the people that they had lined up have dropped out. So I've turned this trip in January into kind of my own personal little experience trip, and have found some places to stay that we might not have experienced otherwise had we been doing that. And we're going to see some different things and go to some different places, and even get out to the coast. And it is less than 30 days as of today. We'll be leaving on the 5th of January. Yeah. But even as of today, I still haven't booked our internal flights, because things are still in motion and changing, and our flights have changed, for the going and coming, I think 7, maybe 8 times now. And so, it is something where people have to really be ready to go at this point. But I think I'm really seeing a light at the end of the tunnel. I think that things are really starting. I think we're going to see some big changes, and we're going to get back to travel as we know it and like it. And I think a lot of things about it are going to be better.
Oh, absolutely. No, I mean, I'm really excited about travel. I see people traveling in 2021. I've seen a lot of interest and excitement about getting back on the road. I personally think that we have certainly the properties and, our processes and the way we do things, certainly with Africa, have got better. It's amazing. Yeah. All the things that have happened have actually made the experience better. And, I mean, even little things like going into Nairobi, which you're going to be doing soon, everything's touchless. So you're going to have to have your QR code ready. Your visa's going to have to be done in advance. You're not going to be standing in as many lines for as long as normal. So I think it's all really good news.
I have my visa. I
Yippee!
just got it today, so I got that.
Yes.
But yeah, so yeah, I'll be able to speak to all that too. But it's really been great to hear some of that from you. And I want to read a couple of these last messages here. And so Stacy did say that yes, Dave and I took the cruise in 2017. So that's going back to when we were talking about the Zambezi River. And then Donna Farrar, wonderful Sandy, really enjoyed. And Stacy also says the porters are lifesavers. If Dave and I didn't each have one, we'd still be climbing the mountain, she says. I need to beat Stacy. I like her.
You will love Stacey. You will love Stacey. She went with some friends of mine on a different trip, and now we are like good friends. So
yeah, well, it's
very,
amazing how doing something like this would just make you fast friends. So,
yeah,
yeah,
no, it's a special world. We are so very lucky to be in the travel world, Robin. We are
absolutely.
so very lucky.
Absolutely. So, all right, last thing, and then we're gonna have to jump off because I have a phone call at 5 o'clock. This time has just flown. I love it. So I want to announce that yes, Sandy and I are going to put together a trip to Uganda for the fall of 2022. We haven't nailed down dates yet, but it's going to be a small group, so there will be limited spaces available, and I'd love to have people send me an email. Which is Robin at kleinandcotravel.com that you see going across the screen there, or just go to the website. You can send a message through that. But if you're interested or just like to talk about it a little bit more, the possibilities of that, let me know. I think we can, now that Sandy's gone and got it all sussed out for us, we can go and really enjoy. So I'm looking forward to that.
Absolutely. And I know my light keeps going off. Sorry.
Oh, that's all right. No problems. It's like the house lights dimming. It's time to stop. Encore.
I know there's quite a few people, Stacey, I'm sure will give glowing reviews of Uganda. So there are lots of people who absolutely love it. And Uganda literally is absolutely phenomenal. It changed my mind. I've been a few times before, but this time, it's fantastic. Very, very good game viewing, amazing experiences, and things that you wouldn't normally do. It's nothing is structured, which is what I loved about Uganda. So
that's wonderful. Well, Sandy, thank you so much for agreeing to come on with me today and chatting with me and sharing your wealth of knowledge with everyone. And we're going to have to do it again because we have so many other countries to talk about. So
I look forward to it. I love talking about Africa. So thank you so much for having me on today. And I can't wait to hear about your Kenya trip.
I know. I can't wait to tell you. So yeah, you might regret saying that.
I look forward to it.
All right. Thank you.
Okay.
Bye-bye. Bye.